Welcome to Global English Tales, where we share interesting stories to help improve English. Stay with us until the end of today's story for an exciting vocabulary practice session. Let's dive into this story. The final stop. It was a cold, dark night, and Maya was in a hurry. She had just finished her work and was rushing to catch the last train home. The station was almost empty, with only a few people walking around. The wind was cold, and the air felt thick with silence. Maya looked around for the ticket booth. The old ticket collector gave her a quick, strange look as she handed him her ticket. He didn't say anything but nodded and let her pass. Inside the train, everything felt quiet. The lights were dim, and the train was almost empty. Maya walked down the aisle, searching for a seat. At the far end of the train, a man was sitting with his head down. His hat covered his face, and he wasn't moving at all. Maya found a seat near the door and sat down. She took out her phone, but there was no signal. She sighed and looked out of the window at the dark night outside. The train started moving slowly, and Maya felt a little more relaxed. But then, she heard something strange. A soft, whispering voice came from somewhere in the train. "Get off at the next stop." Maya froze. She looked around, but no one seemed to be talking. The man at the far end of the train hadn't moved. She thought it was just her imagination and tried to ignore it. But then the voice came again. This time, it was louder, and it sounded more urgent. "Get off or you won't make it home." Maya's heart began to race. She looked around again, but no one was there. The man at the end of the train still hadn't moved. She felt a cold chill run through her body. As the train slowly approached the next station, she looked out of the window and saw that it was a small, old station. The platform was covered in mist, and no one was there. It was a deserted place. The voice came again, this time louder and clearer. "Get off now." Maya's hands began to shake. She didn't know why, but something inside her told her that she had to get off the train. Without thinking, she stood up quickly and walked toward the door. She didn't want to look at the man anymore, but she could feel his eyes watching her. Just as the train started to slow down at the station, Maya quickly jumped off. She barely made it out before the doors closed. The train sped away, leaving Maya alone on the empty platform. She turned to look at the train, and that's when she heard a loud crash. The train had gone off the tracks, and there was a big mess of broken metal and pieces scattered everywhere. Maya felt her stomach drop. She couldn't believe what had just happened. She had almost been on that train when it crashed. Then, as she stood there, the mist began to get thicker. Maya heard the whisper again, but this time it was different. The voice wasn't coming from anyone she could see. It seemed to be coming from the air around her. "Next time listen sooner." Maya shivered, her mind racing. She hadn't seen the man leave the train. Was he part of the warning? Had he known the crash was going to happen? Maya looked around one last time, but the station was still empty. No one else was there. She turned and started walking back to the town. She would never forget this night, and the strange warning that saved her life. This story reminds us that listening to our instincts and warnings can sometimes protect us from danger. Let's take a look at the vocabulary from today's story. These words will help you better understand the events and expand your English skills. Vocabulary practice. 1. Eerie, strange and a little scary. Example: the eerie silence made her nervous. 2. Deserted, empty, with no people around. Example: the deserted station felt lonely and quiet. 3. Lingering, staying for a long time. Example: the lingering smell of food filled the room. 4. Dimly, not bright, a little dark. Example: the room was dimly lit by a small light. 5. Jerked, moved suddenly or roughly. Example: the car jerked when the driver stepped on the brake. 6. Derelict, old and in bad condition. Example: the derelict house was falling apart. 7. Trembling, shaking, usually because of fear or cold. Example: she was trembling with fear after hearing the noise. 8. Crumpled, folded or bent out of shape. Example: the letter was crumpled into a ball and thrown away. 9. Haunting, staying in your mind for a long time, often because it's scary. Example: the haunting music played in her head all night. 10. Chilling, scary, making you feel afraid. Example: the chilling wind made her shiver. After learning these words, try using them in your own sentences. This will help you remember them better and practice more effectively. Now, it's your turn. What story would you like us to feature in an upcoming video? Share your suggestions in the comments below, and we may bring your idea to life in our future episodes. Thank you for watching today's story and vocabulary practice. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe and share with your friends to help us grow. Your support truly means a lot. We appreciate you joining us at Global English Tales. Stay tuned for more stories and learning. See you soon.